Good morning.
Go ahead and make your way to your mats. Have blocks and straps within reach in case we use them today. Just taking a moment to sink in, center in, breathing deeply into your lungs, all the way down into the abdomen, up through the rib cage, all the way up into the chest. And nice, slow exhale, release. A few more times, allowing the eyes to close, allowing your shoulders to soften as you breathe. As you breathe here, begin to grow up through the crown of the head, lengthening through the spine. And gently allowing the eyes to open, continuing to connect with that nice deep breathing. Go ahead and interlace the fingers, pressing the palms forward on an exhale. Draw those elbows towards one another on an inhale, raising the palms up. Breathing deeply into the side body here. Take this opportunity to really feel the rib cage as it opens and expands, and then contracts with the exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale, releasing the hands down. Go ahead and switch that cross. Find that awkward cross. The one that's less natural to take. Go ahead and press those palms forward. Exhale, squeezing the elbows together, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhale, up. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead and take a couple side bends today, and then we'll do the twists. So bringing your right hand to your side, left arm up. Inhale, lengthen first through the spine. Exhale into a side bend. Keep rolling that armpit in towards the ear as if you could begin to rotate that palm towards the back of the room. Press up into that right hand. Find some length in both sides. Breathing deeply into the left here, just a few more breaths. On your next inhale, all the way up and through. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Taking that side bend, opening in the right side body. Keep reaching those fingers forward. Keep spinning that armpit in. inhale, back to center. Go ahead and bring the legs out long, flexing the feet. Just start by moving a little bit of flesh out from under the sit bones. Maybe your legs are about hip distance apart, heels are a little bit away from one another. Start by just pressing those thighs into the mat and flexing those feet strongly. See if you can almost feel, or get to a stretch just from here. And then from there, begin to walk the hands forward, leading with the chest, breathing deeply all down the back of the legs. After your first few breaths, see if you can walk those hands forward just a bit more. Keep pressing those thighs into the mat. Keep flexing those feet. On your next inhale, beginning to press up. From seated, just bending at the knees, go ahead and bring that left foot across, right foot over, the sole of the right foot comes to the mat. Once you get that crossover, see if you can root those sit bones, both those hips back onto the mat, and that you're not tipping over to one side. If you are, you can straighten out the bottom leg. And once you've found your foot position, go ahead and hug that right arm with the left foot, pressing through the right hand, finding some length in the spine. And once you've found your length, with each exhale, deepen just a little bit more into the twist. On your next exhale, coming back to center, uncrossing those legs, take the opposite cross. If you straighten out the bottom leg for the other side, go ahead and straighten it out for this side as well. See if you can plant those hips, hugging with the right hand, lengthening with the left. Inhale, nice, tall spine. Exhale, deepen into the twist. On your next exhale, making your way back to center, releasing the cross. Go ahead and do kind of a combined class today. So a little bit of hips, a little bit of core. Go ahead and with those heels nice and wide, drop off both knees to one side and then the other. Beginning to wake up the hip joints here. Connecting movement to breath. So we're going to work through a few vinyasas today. Inhale, center, exhale, side. Inhale, center, exhale, side. back to center, drawing those heels in and making your way onto your hands and knees. Continue to wake up the spine. Go ahead and drop that belly down, crown and tailbone up. Exhale, pressing through the hands and knees, arching the spine. At the pace of your own breath, inhale forward and exhale back. And after that next breath, go ahead and make your way back to neutral spine. Tucking that belly button under and drawing the shoulder to the hip. Inhale, center, exhale, other side, shoulder to hip. Getting a nice crunch in our obliques, our side abdominals, as we continue to wake up the spine. Center, big toes together, hips back, forehead down, child's pose. On your next inhale, coming back up to the hands and knees. Let's play with a little bit of balance, a little more core here before we move into some vinyasas. Go ahead and take that left foot back, pressing out through the heel. Feeling that length through the whole back of the leg, and then draw that left foot up. Toes point towards the mat. If that left hip is opening, drop that hip back down, parallel to the right. Inhale, right arm up. Finding that balance for a breath. With your next exhale, elbow to knee. Really crunch at the bottom. Inhale, lengthen nice and slow. Exhale, crunch. Lengthen and crunch. Just a couple more nice slow breaths. Inhale out. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, crunch. Go ahead and return the knee to the mat. Double check your alignment. Knees below hips, wrists under shoulders, and then the right foot comes back. Pressing through the hands, opening through the back of that right leg. And then inhale, right foot up, check that hip. Left arm forward, balancing for a breath. And with the next exhale, bringing that elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Nice, slow breath. Nice, controlled movements. Just a couple more breaths. And last one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. return. Hand and knee to mat. Go ahead and tuck those back toes under, pressing the hips up and back, down dog. Take a moment to set yourself up here. So feet are about hips distance apart, maybe slightly wider. Swivel those heels so they are just out of view. Bend deeply in the knees, spread the fingers wide, press those hips strongly up and back, rolling those armpits in, spreading across the shoulder blades, pressing out now through the heels. With your next inhale, bending at the knees, gazing forward, and walking your feet to your hands. Exhale in the forward fold. I'm going to take a moment here. So start with the deep bend in the knees, bringing the hands to the mat. And from there, begin to straighten. Relax through the head and neck. The spine just cascades down from the hips towards the floor. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the head and neck. For the next couple breaths, go ahead, just grab on to your elbows. Keep pressing firmly into those feet. The inside edges, the outside edges, the heel, the ball of the foot. Keep pressing. And releasing the hands back to the mat, tucking that tailbone under, beginning to roll up one vertebra at a time. Take your time coming up, head and neck come last. At the top, inhale the arms up, gazing up, mini back bend. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna face the side of the mat, so I'm facing the camera, but we're gonna take a balancing pose here. So let's start with our weight on the right foot. So pressing firmly into that right foot, see if you can lift that left foot up off the mat. You're squeezing in through the glute. You're pulling the thigh in, so no thigh or no hips are gonna push out in either direction. You're hugging through the center, tucking that belly button in. So keep hugging that thigh in, keep hugging that belly button in, and then you can lift that left ankle up and cross it above the right knee. Maybe you bring your hands to heart center, gazing forward, flexing that left foot, and beginning to bend that right knee. Beginning to sit those hips back as if you were heading for a chair. And just keep working this. Maybe you can begin to find a stretch in the back of the hip. Maybe your elbows reach your shin, maybe they don't. Maybe you reach your hands forward. This pose is one that's heading towards the floor. That may not be today. As you're ready, beginning to press slowly back into that standing leg, coming up. Maybe you dismount gracefully Maybe that wasn't today either. See what happens on the other side for me. Shake it out, shake those hips out. There's a lot going on in that balancing pose. Coming over to the left, press into that left foot, squeeze that thigh in, hug it into midline, tuck that belly button up and in. From this strong point, lift that right leg off the mat and cross it over. And you can take it as deep as your body will allow you today, or maybe you're just balancing here. Maybe you begin to bend into that knee and sit back. Maybe you sit back just a small amount. Maybe you keep going. If you fall out, just play with it for a little bit. Maybe you reach those hands towards the mat. As you sit back, as you gaze slightly forward, hopefully finding something still to look at. Just finding a couple breaths here, wherever you're at. A couple more breaths in your balancing practice. And as you're ready, beginning to press into that standing leg to come back up. And release. Nice work. Shake it out. Coming back to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend knees, place hands, and step back into high plank. Taking an inhale at the top of the plank. And coming down, yogi's choice, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, elbows are in. Inhale, let's do baby cobra. Exhale, hips back and up, down dog. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, taking that right foot through and to the mat. Back knee comes to the mat. Take that peek back. Is it tracking straight behind you? We're headed down into pigeon. And from here, maybe you drop down onto your elbows. Maybe you drop all the way down onto your forehead. Here for a few breaths. Opening into the hip. With your next inhale, beginning to press back up onto the palms. If you came down onto your elbows, more forehead. Tucking those back toes under. Pressing those hips up and back to release that bottom leg. And taking, again, a moment in down dog. your next inhale, bring that left leg up. Exhale, bringing it through to the mat. Back knee comes down. Please take that peek back. Is it tracking straight behind you? If not, go ahead and make those adjustments. Double check your hips too. Make sure one's not popping up or dipping down. Once you've got that set up, maybe you're up on your hands today for blocks. Maybe you're making your way down to your elbows, maybe to your forehead. If you came down onto your elbows or forehead, go ahead with your next inhale, begin to press back up. From your palms, go ahead and tuck that back foot under, pressing up, releasing that bottom leg, coming on back into your Adho Mukha Savasana, down dog. Armpits rolled in, shoulder blades spread, pressing out through those heels, really pressing those hips up and back, chest down towards the mat. Inhale, rolling forward into high plank. Make sure those fingers are spread. Make sure you're pressing strongly through the hands, as if you could press your spine out through your shoulder blade, lengthening back through those heels. Belly button is up and in. And knees come to the mat, and belly comes to the mat. I'm going to do a few planks before our wind down. Just beginning to activate the core, build the core. So from your belly, let's go ahead and take a couple forearm planks. I'm going to hold them for 5 slow breaths. So go ahead and connect with that slow breath right now. With your elbows in place, you can have palms to the mat or fingers interlaced. Slowing down the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And continuing like that. Tucking those back toes under. Pressing the hips up. Pressing through the elbows and forearms. Drawing the crown of the head forward. Pressing out through the heels. Tightening through the thighs. Kind of squeezing them energetically together. Tucking that belly button up and in. Couple more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Knees to the mat, belly to the mat. Nice work. side. Elbow stacks under shoulder. Palm out in front. Fingers spread, palm pressed against the mat, forearm pressed against the mat. I would love if everyone wanted to try stacking the feet for a moment. The kickstand is also an option if stacking feet is just not an option. I totally understand. And I'm gonna head right up, pressing those hips up. You're on that outer edge of that bottom foot. It's nice and strong, pressing into the mat. Ankle is strong. Again, you might have the kickstand. Option 2, keep pressing those hips up. Keep pressing that elbow into the mat. Create space between your shoulder and neck here. A few more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Hips come to the mat. Release. I'm going to flip this way. Maybe you just flip over to the other side. Yogi's choice. In honor of balance, whatever foot position you took for the other side, go ahead, take for this side. I know oftentimes we have better balance, better strength, better everything on one side versus the other. But as we strengthen up to be able to do it on the weaker side, that's when we'll add the stronger side in as well. If you gave it a try on the other side and had to go to kickstand, go ahead and give it a try on this side too. But let's try to keep everything balanced here. Go ahead and press up. A few breaths here, crunching through the sides. Strong outer side of that bottom foot, pressed into the mat. Keep pushing those hips up. I guess I did lengthen my arm on the other one, so I'll keep it on the hips for this one too. Pressing in through that elbow, create that space between the shoulder and the neck. Just a couple more breaths. And on your next exhale, placing those hips down. Just one more to go. Then we'll be on the wind down. We're going to come back into a forward plank. Just for good measure, right at the end. Placed fingers or palms flat, elbows stacked under shoulders. 5 more breaths. Inhale, up. Inhaling and exhaling. And again. And exhale. 2 more to go. Inhale. And exhale. Pressing out through those heels. Pressing in through those elbows. Last breath. And with your exhale, dropping the knees to the mat. Roll them in and begin to press those hips back for a child's pose. Beautiful job. As you inhale forward onto the hands and knees, you're just going to make your way all the way onto your back. Go ahead and take that left foot this figure four as the wind down. Maybe you get the last little juice out of class and press that tailbone to the mat as you energetically keep pulling that ankle in towards the chest. Engaging in this isometric pulling allows you to get a little deeper into that hip socket there, finding a little more opening. Left leg up, drawing that thigh in. And maybe you add the dynamic pulling or the isometric pulling here as well, pressing that tailbone down as you draw the ankle in. Keep drawing as you press. And release. Finishing off our wind down, go ahead and bring that left leg back over, dropping both knees to the right. Gazing out over that left shoulder, supine twist. Switching the cross, dropping those knees to the left, gazing out over the right. Crossing those legs, taking just a moment or two here as we close the class to sink in to Shavasana. So laying flat, spine is long, all the way through the crown of the head. Arms fall open to the sides. Maybe you tuck the shoulder blades under. Feet fall out and away from each other. And just notice the way your hips feel against the mat, where your spine presses against the mat and maybe where it doesn't. The weight of your head as it rests on the ground. Just breathing. This is your opportunity, and maybe the only opportunity you will have all day, just focus on your breath. With the next inhale, taking it just a little bit deeper. Nice, slow exhale, waking back into the body. Bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. With knees bent, beginning to roll onto one side. Taking just a breath or so on your side and feel. Beginning to press yourself back up to seated. Just taking one last centering breath back in seated, back in Sukhasana. Just tapping into your body's yes. You're probably feeling relaxed at the moment, stretched out hopefully, slightly worked out, I'm sure. And just from that happy space in your body, really memorize that. Memorize that feeling. Momentary contentment, of openness, of expansion, of readiness to meet the day. And know that this is your natural frequency. This is your natural state of feeling. And we can use this as a clue, as a key tool in becoming more who we actually are. So if you go about your day and you begin to feel some tension in the body, know that that is your trigger. That is your moment to pause and to observe and to examine where this is coming from. Our body is a beautiful, beautiful key to the first hint of something going off kilter. So memorizing this moment, the moment where your body feels most at ease, using that as your tool. Thank you for practicing with me today.